A couple of weeks ago, I had the privilege of going to Italy and traveling on what is known as the Severian pilgrimage to Italy. Now, I was thinking when we prepare for some sort of journey or trip in our own lives, we take certain things with us. We take enough clothes, we take enough money, perhaps we take a book to read on the plane. Well, when I went on this pilgrimage to Italy, I took 35 teenage boys. So it was a different type of experience, but it wasn't a trip. It was a pilgrimage with other chaperones at this wonderful Catholic high school known as Severian Brothers High School. Father Bob Reed is a graduate of St. John's Prep, another Severian-sponsored school. John Paul, our server, was on this pilgrimage, and his brother Joe, our lector, was on the pilgrimage back in 2012. And the boys in Rome, in which we spent the first 5 evenings, had beautiful experiences of the origins of our faith as we visited the 4 major basilicas and other important places in the early church and celebrated Mass, and at the Jesu Church, at the altar of St. Francis Xavier, and other powerful experiences. And then we went on and spent 4 evenings, more of a retreat aspect of the pilgrimage in San Gimignano, which the boys did some service work at this 13th century monastery, also visiting Assisi and Siena, seeing the relics of the saints, St. Clare of Assisi, celebrating Mass close to the burial place of St. Francis of Assisi. Powerful moments on this pilgrimage, this faith journey, in which the boys not only learned more about their faith and the beginnings of the Catholic Church, but also grew in their relationship with Jesus. They encountered Jesus, who was walking with them all along the way of this faith journey. These past number of days at morning Mass, we've heard the story of Exodus, as we did this morning as well, and their faith journey, if you will. Those dramatic stories and accounts of their escaping from Pharaoh and from Egypt, rushing out in the middle of the evening, being chased by the Egyptians pursuing them, who get stuck in the Red Sea, unable to pursue them any further. We hear of how God provided for the Israelites with manna from the desert. And at various points, and again in this Exodus passage we've heard at Mass today, how God was with them. In the image of the cloud, that fiery cloud, God's presence was with them. And Moses trusted that during the joys and struggles of that journey, that faith journey of the Israelites to the promised land, that God was not distant, but that he was watching over them. Well, my friends, we are all on our own personal faith journeys in our own lives. And in many ways, like those Israelites, our journeys can be filled with times of consolation, of joy, of happiness, but also there can be those moments of struggle and difficulty and pain, when perhaps we too may wonder, where is God? We know in faith that God is with us. Jesus, Emmanuel, God is with us. I will never forget you. I will never forsake you. And so, my brothers and sisters, as you and I travel along on our own personal faith journeys, all we need to do is trust, to grab hold of the hands of Jesus, and to trust because he tells us, I am with you always until the end of the ages.